Hi guys, it's me again. After a long vacation, I finally got back on track. My name is Ruowen Huang. I'm an author and a life coach and also a psychic. I'm here to share with you guys what I basically share with you guys about the world that I know, and hopefully, will help you understand the world that you have no chance to discover it. And hope along the way I can share something deeper with you guys. If any of you are interested in join us live on Periscope, you can always install Periscope and search my name, Ruowen Huang, and then you can join us live at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So anyway, today we're going to talk about what is fairies or goblin. So fairy is pretty funny because in my knowledge I don't really know much about fairy. So when I first saw the fairy, I thought something's wrong with my eyes, because I guess deep down in my head I keep thinking I'm not supposed to see them. But anyway, when I first and I also have this stereotype impression what a fairy is supposed to look like. I always thought they only belong to nature. I'm not supposed to see them in the city setting. But when I first saw the fairy, it was actually in a restaurant. It's really weird. It was in a restaurant, and then I keep seeing something flicker in front of my eyes, and I thought, well, that is what is it, until I start paying a little bit attention, and I noticed there were 3 little fairy in front of me. And then one of them just continued saying, she can see us, and the other 2 would say, no, she's not seeing us, or something like that. But anyway, that kind of enough to freak me out. And then, as you guys all, people who follow my blog would know, my higher spirits never been easy on me. Every time they want me to learn something, they dump it on me. They throw it on me, right? Just so I can get a chance to discover them or figure them out. So after that incident, I start to see fairy just about everywhere, which is kind of scary again. But eventually I get to know them a little bit better. I guess that's why I'm here to share with you guys. It took a while for me to understand there's a reason for fairy to exist. I thought that was just some figure like fairy tale create, that story create. They don't really exist. But it actually took a while for me to figure out there's a reason for their existence, and I will share with you guys all. I'm going to use frequency a lot, or vibration a lot. The reason of that is that's how I identify different existence, right? So, I mean, in the previous episode, I talked about how if a human's vibrations every 3 seconds, ghosts would be between 5 or 7 seconds. Higher spirit would be faster. Based on the different vibration, their time measurement is different too. So, fairy, their vibration exists between ghost and human. That means they are vibrating slower, and then their frequency is slower than human as well. So I would say, for people who can see human and the ghost, the chances, if they adjust their frequency a little bit, they can probably see fairy as well. And there's a fairy, and then there's a goblin. Goblins are also, I group them together with fairy, but their vibration is tiny little bit slower than fairies. Fairy, they're just, they're always chirpy for some reason. And then goblin, they are more earthy, more heavier vibration. So, to get to, then eventually I start to realize they are just about everywhere. They are seasonal fairy, they are long-term fairy, they are fairy that live really long. But yes, you do see them more in the natural setting, which, I'm pretty sure you guys would have the knowledge or expectation of that already. But today I'm gonna roughly say what does fairy do when they are around you. So you may be able to spot them or feel them, even though if you don't see them. Fairy give out energy. The energy is usually they intake energy and then they give out energy. The energy they give out is usually taken by the nature. Yes, that means like tree or flower or the wood or even the ground. So sometimes fairy, how do I describe this? When fairies are around, the energy is a little bit shifting. I would say most of people would know. You just don't know they are there. The thing, the way I describe them is like if when fairies are around, the atmosphere change a little bit, not much, but a little bit. That is that apple pie. It's like apple pie have that tint of the cinnamon in there. That's how I feel. That means when I go out, even the tree turns orange or turn red or something like that. You walk around, you start to have a little taste of the pumpkin. All of a sudden, like, I'm walking around the tree, and then not only I feel that feeling of fall is coming, I also feel like they have that sweetness in the air. Or, when you go into an atmosphere or a nature or things like that, when you walk in, you really feel, wow, spring is coming, or, oh, fall is coming, or winter is coming. So what fairy does is really give you that sensation, that tint of sensation that you feel, that you cannot really quite describe how it's like. I'm pretty sure everybody's different. But it really gives you that sensation like, spring is coming. I also noticed they are this really tiny fairy, about this big. I would say 1 or 2 inches big. They actually only live about 1 week long, and then they give out spring. They give you spring feeling. That is, you might be in the city or you might be in the nature, but you really have that, oh, spring is coming. Right. So usually, as me to describe it, is a little bit sweeter taste, and a little bit refreshing sweet taste is like having I don't know, very light dessert for me. But anyway, I hope you guys know what I meant. But that's really what fairy does. A fairy give you that tint of that spice that you feel when you go into a nature. Goblin, on the other hand, goblin give out heavier energy. The heavier energy is usually taken by wood. So when there's a goblin around, that you feel more settled and heavier taste to it. I can only use taste because I use my sensation to judge what I see or feel. So what I'm here to say is, it took me a while, but I do realize they do exist, and then they exist for a reason, because their energy was taken by the nature, that we don't see, but they are there. So, if you want to spot, there's one thing I also realize people can sometimes spot where the fairy is. Actually, it's more goblin. If you ever go to the very, not so tourist-like or very isolated lake. If you ever go camping and then find a quiet lake, usually around 5 or 6 o'clock. Around 6 o'clock, if you happen to be in a full moon or something, or, where you can see some kind of moonlight, then what you will see, you will see some steam. It's not really steam or smoke coming out of the water. Okay, a lot of people will say, oh, that's because, the water is releasing heat. The thing is, you can almost see, there's some kind of things called, some kind of wood fairies. It's not really fairy because they're quite big. They are about 3, 4, 5 feet tall. And then, once a while, I call them like to do the dance, and then you might be able to catch them with your own eyes, because I realize around them it creates this kind of steam. And then if you ever pay attention, it always circle around in the center of the lake that is, almost dim-like, but you will see it's not so scattering, it's always kind of circling around in a patterning. That is what I realized human eye can actually see. So if you're interested in checking out fairy, that is something you can pay attention to. Usually a forest or I went on a hiking or things like that. I noticed a place that got fairy around or goblin around, the green is different. The green is more alive. So what it does is, you will feel like aliveness, but you are not quite sure how to describe that. That's basically what I try to say with a fairy, the feeling that fairy give to you. So anyway, that's my easy topic of today. I'm talking about fairy and goblin. They do exist. Yes, they could be annoying sometimes, but the thing is, they all have their personality, and they all exist in different vibration, and then their existence is mostly to contribute the energy to the nature that we're living in, that we not really quite see or think sometimes, but they are everywhere around us. So if you are interested in spotting fairy, instead of so determined to see them, feel them. If you feel them, the chances, one of them may just get naughty enough that you see them, which they do that sometimes. But anyway, so, spot the seasoning, you usually have that. If you start tasting that, pumpkin taste in the air, the chances you probably have fairies surrounding you. So that is a very light topic for me today. And, I'm glad I did that. So, if you guys are interested in my channel, subscribe my channel on YouTube, or find me on Periscope, or go to my website at ruowen.com. And this week is short for me since I just come back from vacation, but I think I'm getting better at this. What do you think? So, next 2 days, I'm going to talk about 2 words that you will hear me use a lot. Tomorrow, the first word I'm going to introduce is a purpose of life. I will introduce what's purpose of life in my definition. And then Friday, I'm going to introduce what is the test of life, because they go hang together. So, again, if you guys are interested, like me or, subscribe me. And then I will see you guys again tomorrow at 10. And then tomorrow we'll talk about what is the purpose of life. So see you all tomorrow. Bye.